Chapter 10. The Scriptorium. It was nearly 4 o'clock when Ominous and I left the Undercroft. We kept an eye out for Sebastian, though I secretly hoped we wouldn't run into him just yet. I was enjoying the soft glow on Ominous's face, the way his hands still curled protectively around the scale. I'd told him everything, how Poppy had found the cave, how she'd gone alone. Talking to him felt easy again, as though we'd crossed some invisible line we couldn't, or wouldn't, look back across. His quiet admiration for Poppy echoed in my chest, stirring a flicker of envy, but I shoved it down, focusing instead on the warmth of him beside me. Our footsteps fell in sync as we descended the stairs toward the common room, chatting about the upcoming Halloween feast and its overly indulgent menu. We turned a corner, and there he was.
Perfect timing,
Sebastian said. There was something in his voice that made every muscle in my body tighten. He stood hunched near the wall, running his hand over a section of stone carvings with the kind of reverence he usually reserved for books. To me, it looked like every other slab of stone in this corridor.
I think I found it,
he murmured, mischief lighting up every freckle. He traced the relief's edges one last time, then turned toward us, grinning like he'd just won a duel.
You can't be serious!
Ominous groaned, gripping his wand tight enough to snap it in two. Sebastian's grin widened.
According to the book, the entrance to the Scriptorium has something to do with threes,
he said, stepping casually out of Ominous's reach. He began pacing the corridor, practically buzzing with energy. I caught myself mirroring him, against my better judgment. Ominous let out a low, exhausted sigh and pressed himself against the wall, arms crossed tightly.
Fine then,
he muttered.
Be as much of a prick as you like. I'll stand over here.
Perfect,
Sebastian chirped as if the insult were a compliment. His wand appeared in a blink. My gut tensed instantly.
Muffliato,
he whispered, flicking it in a swift circle. Then, without missing a beat, he squared his stance in front of a dusty stone pillar. I knew that posture too well.
Confringo!
The explosion cracked through the corridor. I winced, breath caught, as flames roared to life atop the stone brazier. They shifted, orange to green, before vanishing completely, dust and cobwebs knitting themselves back like nothing had happened. Sebastian! I hissed, whirling to scan the hall for witnesses, before remembering the charm.
Are you mad?
Ominous bellowed, hands dropping from his ears.
Do you want to get expelled?
Sebastian shrugged, eyes still fixed on the brazier.
Relax,
he said breezily.
I told everyone Peeves dropped a dung bomb here, and you heard me muffle the noise.
He spun on his heel, stalking a few steps down the hall, scanning the corridor like a predator on a scent.
Aha!
He pointed toward another brazier.
Nina, help me with this one?
What? I hesitated, torn between loyalty to Ominous and my own insatiable curiosity.
Don't drag her into this!
Ominous barked, uncoiling his arms like he was ready to fight. Sebastian ignored him, wand already rising. I braced myself.
Confringo!
The second brazier lit, flickered green, then vanished into silence and cobwebs. Ominous stirred uneasily, letting out a low, guttural growl. I could tell he was fighting the same war I was.
There are 3 braziers,
Sebastian mused.
One here,
He pointed.
one there, and one around the corner.
He returned to the carved wall, spreading his arms like a conductor, then gave a quick nod.
We have to light the braziers simultaneously.
He looked straight at me. I frowned, a silent plead. Sebastian, ever the mind reader, offered his most disarming smile, the very embodiment of his power of persuasion.
We can do it together.
He hummed, cloaking me with his long arms.
We're Confringo experts, after all.
A chuckle followed, warm, familiar, and too close to my ear.
Of course, it'd be a piece of cake if someone would just swallow his pride and lend a hand.
He added with theatrical weight, sweeping his gaze toward Ominous. Ominous didn't move.
This is your silly little adventure,
He snapped.
I refuse to be part of it.
Sebastian raised a brow.
Is that so? Then why are you still here? Tell me.
Ominous's glare was sharp as a blade, but Sebastian didn't flinch. He absorbed it with practiced ease. He knew him too well. And he was winning. I watched Ominous's hands tighten against his sleeves like he was digging for resolve. Then slowly he sagged, an agonizing frown drawing across his face.
He
swallowed.
It's dangerous, Sebastian. I'm here because I don't want you to get hurt.
There it was again. That mask I'd seen before. The one he wore when he spoke of his aunt. Sebastian's hand settled on my shoulder, his warmth seeping through the fabric. His playfulness faded, replaced by something steadier.
Ominous.
He said, gentler now, almost grounding.
I need to do this. I'll be fine. You don't have to come.
His hand slipped away. I didn't want it to.
Same goes for you, of course.
He added to me, voice low.
I'll join you for the feast later, I promise.
A pressing silence stretched. I flinched at the sound of my own voice when it finally cut through. We don't know that history will repeat itself, I said quietly. Maybe. Finding out what happened to her is the best way to honor her memory. She did this alone. We could do it together. As threes. Even as the words left me, I wasn't sure where they'd come from. As if someone, had plucked them from our minds. Maybe even the same hands that wove the cobwebs. Sebastian didn't speak, just shifted closer, his arm brushing mine in a silent thank you. Ominous, meanwhile, was pacing, tension radiating off him in waves. We waited. At last, he clapped his hands over his face and groaned.
I see what you've done here.
He shook his head.
Although I hate the idea of you two conspiring against me.
He left the sentence dangle as he moved to stand before the first brazier, wand shaking between his fingers.
I hope we won't regret this,
he muttered. Sebastian and I exchanged a glance, a truce.
Well, 3 heads are better than 1.
Sebastian offered. Ominous arched an eyebrow.
It's 2 heads are better than 1.
And by that logic, 3 is better than 2.
Sebastian replied smugly.
Simple mathematics, Ominous.
I shot him a pointed look, a silent warning not to push his luck. Ominous said nothing, but his posture warned he was one quip away from leaving.
All right, sorry.
Sebastian relented.
On 3 then?
We fell into position, focus snapping into place like a reflex, as though all the weeks of secret dueling had been leading to this.
1, 2, 3.
Confringo!
The corridor erupted into vivid green, ringing in my ears, the flash stinging my eyes. Then, I heard it, a strange sound, like ancient stone reluctantly shifting. When my vision cleared, I saw it. The wall with the carvings had split open. Gaping behind Sebastian like a giant's mouth was a passageway, a pit of unyielding darkness beyond. Sebastian's face, in contrast, seemed to hold the brightness of 1,000 suns as he gestured toward the entrance, voice brimming with pride.
Ladies first,
he teased, his grin so wide it pushed his eyes into cheerful slits. I forced myself to remain composed, sensing Ominous step beside me, his proximity a stabilizing force. No way, I sneered, bracing my hands on my hips. If anyone gets eaten by one of Slytherin's experiments, it's you. Ominous's soft chuckle swept past. I kept my gaze on Sebastian, but every part of me was listening to him.
Fair.
Sebastian said, merrily stepping forward.
It's my silly little adventure after all.
And just like that, without hesitating, he ducked into the passageway, disappearing into the shadows. Ominous and I followed, reluctantly, our sleeves brushing as we approached the hole in the wall. I went in first, a forceful blow of cold air clawing at my face.
Lumos.
Sebastian murmured ahead of us. I carefully placed one foot in front of the other. We descended a steep, spiraling staircase, the stone steps uneven and worn smooth beneath our feet. The walls closed in, and a growing sense of unease spread in my chest. It was the reddish glow of Ominous's wand and Sebastian's bright light ahead that sent a flicker of reassurance through me. Long, wavering shadows danced across the ancient stonework, every sound resonating like spooky whispers. As we moved forward, Ominous trailed his wand-free hand along the wall, his fingers brushing the stone. I felt shielded, sensing his tread just one dusty step away from mine. "How far down are we?" I wondered aloud, my voice echoing faintly. The thought unsettled me. The Slytherin common room was already buried deep within the castle.
Dark, ominous corridors. My favourite.
Sebastian's voice echoed confidently, though I caught a hint of unease beneath the joke. I couldn't help but smile.
Hilarious.
Ominous muttered dryly. At last, we reached the base of the stairs, opening into a dreary, cavernous room. It was empty, save for shattered clay pots and thick cobwebs draped in the corners. At the far end stood an iron door, dark, tall, imposing. Sebastian wasted no time. He crossed the room in 2 strides, wand held in front of him as he traced the door's etched details.
No lock, no handle.
He muttered, brow furrowed.
Interesting.
When I reached him, he'd turned to the walls, running his fingers along the seams, scratching dirt from the grooves. The eerie silence was heavy, making me wish for Sebastian to keep talking. Ominous stayed back, his ear angled like he expected the room to speak. His eyes, drowned in the red light of his wand, widened. When he spoke, his voice was barely audible.
"The entrance above, it's sealing itself,"
he said, raising a trembling hand to his temple. Then I heard it too, the sound of stone grinding into place, no more than a distant echo.
And
Ominous hesitated, his face contorting in shock.
"I hear a voice."